From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. President Bola Tinubu emerges as the APC presidential candidate after securing almost 11 million votes in the party's primaries. Dumebi Kachiku group of the African Democratic Congress adopts him as the party's presidential candidate for the 2027 general elections. Gunmen kill 3 worshippers and abduct 15 others after invading a prayer ground in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State. And US President Donald Trump says negotiations towards a deal with Iran are constructive, but both sides must take their time and get it right. We start off with politics, and it's all in the race to the 2027 general elections. Now, the Dumebi Kachiku-led group of the African Democratic Congress today dissolved the party's National Working Committee and declared him its presidential candidate. Now, the decision was taken at the group's national convention and presidential primary held in Abuja, the nation's capital, where delegates adopted Mr. Kachiku through a voice vote. Speaking after receiving the party's flag, Mr. Kachiku explained that Nigeria was at a critical stage and needed strong leadership to address insecurity, unemployment, economic hardship, and division. He said the country was experiencing worsening social and economic conditions, noting that many Nigerians were leaving the country in search of better opportunities. As various political parties in Nigeria continue to gear up for next year's general elections, the conduct of primary elections becomes the order of the day, as parties elect their sole representatives for various elected positions. Now, parties such as the People's Democratic Party, the African Democratic Congress, and the African Action Congress all held their governorship primaries in different states across the northern part of the country.
The 2027 general elections is gathering momentum as various political parties continue the process to elect their governorship flag bearers ahead of the polls. The African Democratic Congress (ADC) is not left out in the exercise as it conducts primary elections in different states with winners emerging. In Gombe State, at the official collation center of the ADC, the returning officer, Professor David Abu, announces and presents candidates who emerged winners of the party's primaries in the state.
Having satisfied the requirement, after we realized that we want to look at the balance score, and we are satisfying the requirement of the ADC constitution and the parties. Electoral guidelines. Ballot is hereby duly declared a winner and returned elected as the ADC governorship candidate for the 2027 election in Gombe State.
Meanwhile, a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has secured the governorship ticket of the ADC in Kebbi State, alongside 3 others who emerged as the party's senatorial candidates in the state.
I have decided to contest for the governorship, and as you all know, one of the senatorial candidates is a military general. We will work together to tackle insecurity bedeviling our state.
Also clinching the governorship ticket of the ADC is the former Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, Mahdi Gusau. Mr. Gusau, who was impeached as Deputy Governor during the administration of former Governor Bello Matawalle, defeated two other aspirants to secure the party's governorship ticket with 35,665 votes.
By the powers conferred on me as the chairman of the electoral committee, I wish to declare Alhaji Mahdi Aliyu as the winner for the Zamfara State gubernatorial primaries election.
Meanwhile, in Yobe State, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) affirmed Abdullahi Usman Megida as a lone governorship consensus candidate of the party ahead of the 2027 general elections.
I'm calling for them, the electoral empire, that they should conduct a credible election so that their name will now have a very good record.
Concurrently, a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Michael, also emerged as the governorship candidate for the PDP in Benue State. Addressing journalists after the Governorship Affirmation Congress held in Makurdi, Mr. Michael pledged to end insecurity and return Benue to the path of food security.
The key agenda, our people, the people are hardworking. They are very hardworking. If we restore peace and our people go back to their ancestral homes, they will feed the nation.
Take it back.
For the African Action Congress in Taraba State, Mr. Magaji Gago emerged as its consensus candidate for the 2027 governorship polls.
Comes 2027, a new government is coming on board. Politics shouldn't be transactional. Politics shouldn't be about who has the money to buy votes.
For the ADC, PDP and other opposition parties, the 2027 election is no child's play as they continue to mount their guard, tighten their internal structure, and work towards securing victory at the polls.
More politics, and President Bola Tinubu has emerged the candidate of the All Progressives Congress for the 2027 general elections. Our President Tinubu polled a total of 10,999,162 votes in the APC presidential primary held on Saturday, while his only co-contestant, Mr. Stanley Osifo, polled 16,503 votes. The results of the primary election was announced by the chairman of the APC Presidential Primaries Election Committee, Senator Pius Anyim, in Abuja. Our State House correspondent, Emperor Simon, reports.
The Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, Abuja, is where the All Progressives Congress is using for the collation of results of its Saturday, May 23, 2026 presidential primary election held across the country. One after the other, collation officers, majorly state governors of the APC, take turns to present results of the presidential primary election held in their states. Just as the collation is about concluding, Vice President Kashim Shettima arrives the venue. He is followed by President Bola Tinubu alongside his spouse, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi. The collation is concluded and it is followed by the declaration of the final results.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR received a total number of 10,999,162 votes. Mr. Stanley Osifo received a total of 60,503 votes. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, having satisfied the requirements of APC Constitution and guidelines and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner of the primary election and is returned elected, nominated as the party's presidential candidate. APC!
It's a cheering moment for President Bola Tinubu as he takes to the stage to receive his certificate.
champion, stand up.
He's also handed the flag of the party.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Done with the presentations, President Tinubu addresses party members.
I know what it is to reform this economy.
He begins by commending the conduct of the primaries, an appreciation for its emergence as the APC presidential candidate.
I accept with profound humility and profound gratitude the nomination of our great party, the All Progressive Congress, to stand again as your presidential candidate in the 2027 election. It was a very good feeling to see there was no bloodshed, no rancor. This is politics.
President Tinubu highlights his achievements since assuming office in 2023 as he pledges to do more if re-elected president in 2027.
If you lost sleep, I lost some too. If you have lost weight, I think I've lost some too. We will not rest until we restore peace, stability to every corner of our country. Our resolve is unwavering.
With the APC done with its primaries, the party's next task is winning the election next year across all levels, beginning with the presidential election scheduled to hold in January 2027. Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
Now, following the successful completion and announcement of President Bola Tinubu as the APC presidential candidate for the 2027 general election, leaders of the party have described the primary as peaceful, credible, and a true reflection of internal democracy. Speaking shortly after the official announcement of the results, the national chairman of the party, APC governors, members of the National Working Committee, and other party leaders commend the delegates and the Electoral Committee for a successful and hitch-free exercise. Our correspondent Benny Ark tells us more.
To you, congratulations, Mr. President.
Following the official declaration of President Bola Tinubu as the APC presidential candidate for the 2027 general election, party leaders, governors, and members of the National Working Committee reacted to the outcome of the primary.
The president would know, we all know he's setting up a structure, a formidable structure for this country to continue to grow, to continue to exist.
What the party members have done is a clear affirmation of, the successes this government has, recorded, a clear affirmation of the confidence that Nigerians, have in the leadership of Mr. President. And from 2027, Nigeria will possibly, have been solidly prepared for unprecedented growth, for the benefit of Nigerians.
The numbers that came out are enough to win an election. And that gives us, not that we're going to sit back, some confidence that Mr. President he has brought up reforms, tough reforms, but necessary reforms.
Take a look state by state. You will realize that the primaries, the exercise was free, fair, peaceful, and above all, credible.
The event, which drew party stakeholders from across the country, was described as peaceful, organized, and a true reflection of internal democracy.
Believe you me, no political party can showcase 1/10 of what we presented in their own congresses. It shows that we are on the path and the winning path.
This is democracy in action. This has shown the kind of leadership we have in this country. This has shown that democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. The perseverance is very, very exciting. And I want to even thank the opponent who attempted to contest with the president, because he woke us up
Even the president has been woken up, to see that, okay, it's never giving.
The way Mr. President has been trying very hard to put things in place, fix the economy, agriculture and everything, people are really excited to ensure that agenda is continued.
Nigerians are very, very lucky to have a candidate that has the interest of Nigerians at heart, somebody that has been working round the clock to ensure that Nigerians, benefit from all the economic policies.
Party leaders also maintain that the APC remains the strongest political party in the country, expressing confidence that President Tinubu will emerge victorious in the 2027 general election.
We will coalesce into a single force with a view to clinching victory come 2027, not only in the presidential election, but in all other elections at the end of the day.
From the reforms that is going on, a lot of things are changing. And I believe that by the time he comes back the second time, we'll be able to consolidate on all those reforms and put Nigeria on the pedestal of economic development.
It's very clear, by the grace of God, he's going to win the APC and he's going to win in Nigeria. He's going to be the next president come 2027.
They further called on party members to remain united and focused ahead of the general election. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
In part 2 after the break, gunmen kill 3 worshippers and abduct 15 others after invading a prayer ground in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the News at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu emerges as the APC presidential candidate after securing almost 11 million votes in the party's primaries. Dumebi Kachiku Group of the African Democratic Congress adopts him as the party's presidential candidate for next year's general election. Gunmen kill 3 worshippers and abduct 15 others after invading a prayer ground in the Ekiti local government of Kwara State. And US President Trump says negotiations towards a deal with Iran are constructive, but both sides must take their time and get it right. Staying with politics, in the All Progressives Congress, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pati, has urged members who lost in the APC primaries in Bauchi State not to leave the party, but to sheathe their swords and unite in support of the party ahead of next year's general elections. Speaking at the APC Presidential Collation Center in Bauchi, Professor Pati insists that the APC has a good reward system for loyal members who may have lost out, urging them to remain patient and committed to the party as a winning platform. Professor Pati, who also served as the coalition officer for the presidential primary in Bauchi State, explains that efforts will be made to reconcile all aggrieved parties.
If Bauchi wins at the state level and Asiwaju wins at the national level, Bauchi will be in a very good position. If Asiwaju wins at the national level, which we are optimistic he will, and for any reason APC doesn't get its act together and Bauchi is now in the opposition, the suffering of the last 8 years will come back again for another period, and nobody wants that. Therefore, the Bauchi people are smart. This is the birthplace of progressive politics. Bauchi people are smart. They will see the direction of the country. Asiwaju will get, inshallah, a very good chance, and Bauchi will not want to be left behind in the opposition. Therefore, we are urging even APC members who may not have gotten what they wanted to think carefully. You don't want to be in the opposition when there is already majority of the country is moving the direction of APC. APC is the party to be in. So let not impulse and anger and just seeking for power. Power is not an end in itself, it's a means to an end. If you don't get it today, you can contribute and support who gets it, and you may get a chance in the next year.
To Imo State, where 3 frontline aspirants in the All Progressives Congress Senatorial primary for Imo North have declared support for the incumbent senator representing the Imo North Senatorial District and winner of the Senatorial primary election, Senator Pratik Ndubeze, insisting that the exercise was peaceful, credible, and produced no parallel candidate. Speaking on behalf of the aspirants during the press briefing in Warri, the Imo State capital, Mr. Lonjas Anyanwu said the APC direct primary election conducted through the Option A4 system was concluded peacefully across the district without rancor. The aspirants maintained that APC members in the district turned out massively to support Ndubeze, who subsequently emerged as the party's candidate for the senatorial election.
In our view, the overwhelming approval for the return for a second time before it rotates to another district will sway the general electorate to the side of our great party in the forthcoming election and that of Mr. President. The narrative being bandied about in the media projecting someone else as the Imo North Senatorial candidate should be disregarded. The primary election in the district was conducted, results collated and announced as appropriate by the returning officer duly assigned so to do by the APC National Working Committee, NWC.
To Edo, where the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress on Friday presented its Edo South senatorial election winner Omorige Ogbeide-Ihama to the Oba of Benin following the party's primaries. The visit to the palace was described by party leaders as a gesture of reverence for the Benin monarchy and the Benin cultural heritage. Now, the monarch, Oba Warri II, the Oba of Benin, used the occasion to call for a ceasefire among APC members still disputing the primary outcome, while urging unity, saying the final decision rests with God, and appealed to both winners and those aggrieved to close ranks for the sake of peace in the state. Ogbeide-Ihama told the Oba he won the primary by a wide margin, according to the National Committee's results he presented, and explained that he was seeking the palace's prayers while awaiting the collection of certificates of return from the party at the national level in Abuja.
Would you like to tell us more about
You know that about a week back now, we've started our primaries. We started with the House of Reps, which was very successful, and we also followed up with the Senate, which was very successful, and the House of Assembly, which was also very successful. As a party who believes in tradition, as a party who respects the royal, we had to bring our candidate who emerged in the senatorial election in Edo South Senatorial District, Honorable Ogbeide-Ihama, to the palace for us to have the royal blessing.
I give God the glory. Oba Atokbe, the party had formally presented me to my father, our father, His Majesty, as the Edo South Senatorial candidate, and he served as an opportunity for me to show my father the result as declared by the committee sent by the national headquarters to conduct that primaries.
A few days after INEC presented the final report of the Supreme Court-ordered ward delineation exercise in Warri Federal Constituency, Ijaw leaders in Warri South local government area have expressed support for the outcome, describing it as a fair reflection of realities on ground. The group also dismissed claims questioning the presence and rights of the Ijaw people in Warri South, while some accusing some individuals and groups of attempting to frustrate the implementation of the exercise. Our correspondent Vivian Chimeze reports.
The INEC delineation exercise for Warri Federal Constituency reviewed electoral wards and polling units across Warri South, Warri North and Warri Southwest local government areas, following years of legal disputes among the Ijaw, Ishekiri and Urobo ethnic nationalities.
I have received on behalf
The report was presented to stakeholders in Asaba, Delta State.
There is necessary need for an amendment, and there is.
Addressing journalists in Warri, Ijaw leaders in Warri South welcomed the final report, commending INEC for what they described as a thorough and credible exercise.
We commend the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for being able to complete the delineation process despite series of litigation against the commission by the Shekiri ethnic nationality. We in all, they lost. We also commend the commission in Warri South local government for being fair to all the ethnic nationalities.
The leaders allege attempts by some individuals and groups to oppose the delineation outcome, while rejecting claims that Ogbe Ijaw and other Ijaw communities are not part of Warri South.
We urge INEC and the general public to disregard the falsehood, even though they are not relevant to the recently concluded fresh delineation exercise. It is also important to state here that you are not supposed to be playing hot and cold. The Shekiris on one hand say they accepted the creation of the new constituencies. I don't know what they are fighting against again. If they could accept the creation of the new constituency, what is so difficult for them to accept what is also created in Warri South? We want to appeal to them as well that it is paramount for us to live in peace.
The group maintains that despite the creation of new wards, more electoral representation was still needed for Ijaw communities in Warri South. Stakeholders have been urged to embrace peace and allow the implementation of the delineation exercise in the interest of fairness, political inclusion and stability in Warri Federal constituency.
Away from politics, Nigerian ambassador to the United States, Mr. Kayode Arre, has presented his letter of credence to U.S. President Donald Trump. The ceremony was held on Thursday, May the 21st, at the White House. There was also an honor guard by the armed forces and officers of the State Department and the staff of the National Security Council. 11 other ambassadors presented their letters to the U.S. President. They include ambassadors of South Africa, Chad, Chile, Yemen, Australia, and Kyrgyzstan. President Bola Tinubu had in January this year approved the posting of Mr. Arre after his nomination was confirmed by the Senate last December. Born in 1955, Mr. Kayode Arre is a retired Nigerian Army colonel, intelligence officer, and former Director General of the State Security Service, now known as the Department of State Services, the DSS. He began his military journey at the Nigerian Defense Academy, where he was a member of Regular Combatant Corps 12. The ambassador graduated among the top 10 cadets and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Nigerian Army in December of 1974. In 1980, he earned a first-class honors degree in psychology from the University of Ibadan, graduating as the institution's best student and winning the University Senate Prize, Faculty of Social Science Prize, and Department of Psychology Prize. During his military career, Mr. Arre served as an intelligence officer in the Directorate of Military Intelligence and rose to the rank of colonel before his compulsory retirement from the Nigerian Army in 1993. Following Nigeria's return to democratic rule, he was appointed Director General of the State Security Service in May 1999. He served in that position until August 2007, making him the longest-serving DG in the history of the agency. Still ahead on the news at 10. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercept a 63-year-old Chinese woman with illicit drugs. Please join us again. Welcome back to the news at 10. Let's talk security now, as armed men suspected to be bandits invaded a prayer ground in Orioke Ajayi village in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, where worshippers were holding a vigil last week Saturday, killing 3 persons and abducting 15 others. The Kwara State Police Command, in a statement issued by its spokesperson, confirmed that the incident occurred at about 8:30 p.m. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in the state, Ojo Adekimi, has already ordered a comprehensive tactical and intelligence-driven operation to ensure the safe rescue of the abducted victims. He assured residents that efforts are underway to track down the assailants and bring them to justice, urging the public to remain calm and provide credible information to help support ongoing operations. Wake up and protect your citizens. That's the charge from the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, as it slams the government's handling of worsening insecurity. Speaking on behalf of the national body, the Lagos PFN chairman, Pastor Yemi Davids, painted a grim picture of communities under siege, pointing to recent bloody attacks in Kwara, Borno, Zamfara, and Oyo, where terrorists continue to operate with near total impunity. The faith-based group is now demanding that the administration seek external help before the killings degenerate further.
We are burdened for Nigeria today because we seem to have lost our sense of value for human life and its sanctity. The level of banditry, kidnapping, violence, insecurity, and savage killings all across the Nigerian landscape has risen to an intolerable height, such that every Nigerian should cry out against it to God for divine intervention and to our government for immediate and effective action. Whilst these satanic acts were going on, our political elites continued with business as usual, as though nothing was happening. These are unspeakable and despicable acts of terror. We are burdened for the loss of our sense of humanity. We are burdened for the unchecked rampaging of bandits, murderous herdsmen killing Nigerian farmers on their farms. Boko Haram insurgents using the noble religion of Islam to perpetrate heinous violence against peaceful Nigerians, unchecked across our national landscape. We have fasted, we have prayed. It's not the first time we have fasted and we have prayed, but we believe that this is a time with a difference. But now we also speak. We call on the federal government to fulfill its constitutional and moral duty of protecting every citizen of Nigeria, irrespective of tribe or religion, so that we can truly be a nation where no one is oppressed. This is the first responsibility of governance. We urge our government to seek for help and partnership for the international community before it's too late. We call on the church in Nigeria to stand together in unity and rise against the evil ravaging our country. We cry out in repentance and prayer, calling the God of heaven to intervene in the affairs of our nation. Speak with one voice so loudly so that government at all levels can feel our pain and sorrow and move decisively to stop this evil and defend our faith and our churches.
The federal government needs to be more transparent and accountable with regards to borrowed funds obtained for the country. The Director, Institute of Capital Market Studies, Nasarawa State University, Professor Uche Uwaleke, who stated this during an interview, also advised that government should prioritize multilateral and concessional loans rather than relying excessively on Eurobonds.
One way to ensure that, one way to ensure transparency, accountability around borrowed money, borrowed funds. Part of why today Nigerians are concerned with the rising debt profile.
Yes.
Okay, it's because they can't see what the money, is tied to. Yes, the government borrows, they can't see what the money is tied to, and there is no transparency, accountability, so to say, around those, borrowed funds. That is what we need to improve on, and to be sure that money is tied to project, as I said. As opposed to going to the Eurobond market, World Bank loans, multilateral loans are usually, not only concessional, they're long-term, they're cheaper. Most of the time you see them tied to projects. But when you do Eurobonds, the purpose is not known.
So you will advocate that we do more?
We do more of multilateral, we do more of concessional loans, as opposed to the Eurobonds. Already we have soaked ourselves into Eurobonds. We have 15 outstanding Eurobonds right now. The value of the Eurobonds we have today is in excess of $15 billion. $15 billion Eurobonds. And between now and 2034, we have 11 billion Eurobonds to pay to liquidate. And the thing that is worrisome is that each time they mature, those Eurobonds mature, we don't really take them out. We issue fresh ones.
Now to catch the full interview with Professor Uche Uwaleke, please watch Newsnight by 9 p.m. That's on Monday, May the 25th, and that's on all channels television platforms. Through education reforms, universities in the country have been enjoined to reduce their dependence on government for funding, but rather take advantage of the presence of alumni endowments and research grants. Experts in the education sector made the call at the end of a two-day Commonwealth Institute Universities Leaders Conference in Lagos with the theme Funding and Revenue Generation for Universities.
And he said the school must build and will build.
Leaders in the Nigerian university community are assembled in this room to look at how higher institutions in the country can be better funded. The thrust of the conversation here is how best to make money available for Nigeria's universities away from government.
If you're able to successfully build out a very robust advancement office, you can become self-sustaining without the government. So the government funding will be just really gravy because the focus of your endowment.
We need to help them create some fund where we task them to give 1,000 naira a month if necessary. Whatever it is, we show them. So we need to encourage giving back, we need to educate and give it back, and we need to reward giving back.
Other institutional heads who attended the conference added their voices to the call for synergy with stakeholders in order to enhance funding of universities in Nigeria.
We can get what we want if our relationship with our key stakeholders are fantastic. And who are our key stakeholders? Primarily our students.
If you give them that culture of loving the university, looking at it as their own, taking ownership of it. When they leave, they want to give back to the system. They want to look back at a system that has built them, not one that has terrorized them.
The Chancellor, Lagos State University, His Royal Majesty Oba Olufolarin Ogunsonwo, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, commended the Commonwealth Institute for coming up with this conference, which provides pathways to making Nigerian universities less dependent on government.
Even as Pro-Chancellor, as well as proprietors of private universities, for us to sit down, network, and try to come up with ways and means of making our universities to be self-reliant financially.
It is believed that university leaders will go back with new insights on how to make the most of alumni association and other partners that will make Nigerian universities less dependent on the government.
The federal government is appealing to state governors and other stakeholders in the country to provide the needed support that will improve the National Youth Service Corps scheme. The Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, made the appeal in his address at the official celebration of the 53rd anniversary of the NYSC held in Abuja. In his passionate appeal to the state governors to do everything within their powers to support the scheme, Mr. Olawande described the NYSC as one of Nigeria's strongest platforms for national integration.
Corps members served in different places all over the world, in all local government. Serve in school, they serve in hospitals, they serve in rural communities, they serve in farms, they serve in all other constitutional institutions, even private sectors across this country. Therefore, we are calling on all subnationals, or let me put it like this straightforward because there are media here. We are calling on all the governors because there is no governors that can do without this scheme. No governors. No state, no local government council, no areas of institutional amendments, schools, whatever, that can do without this national scheme. Let us know that this scheme, it is something that they need to look into and take it very serious. Give us what it need for this scheme to grow in your various states.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, that's the NDLEA, has announced the arrest of a 63-year-old Chinese grandmother for allegedly attempting to smuggle a large consignment of Canadian loud, that's a synthetic strain of cannabis, into Nigeria. A statement by the Director of Media and Advocacy of the agency, Mr. Femi Babafemi, says the suspect, described as Ting Hong Kyung, who naturalized in Malaysia, was arrested on Sunday, May the 17th, upon arrival at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, from Thailand, via Dubai on an Emirates airline flight. According to the statement, NDLEA operatives attached to the Terminal 2 arrival hall intercepted her after she was found to have 2 large travel boxes containing 31.0 kilograms of the illicit substance. The statement explains that during an interview, the 63-year-old suspect, who claims to be working as a caregiver in Malaysia, stated that her daughter sponsored her trip from Malaysia to Thailand and subsequently to Nigeria. The statement adds that the suspect further disclosed that she spent 2 weeks in Thailand before she was handed the illicit consignment at a Thailand airport to deliver in Nigeria. Nigeria's leading paint and coatings company, Chemical and Allied Products PLC, has officially launched Spruce, a new mid-tier paint brand developed under the Dulux portfolio to serve Nigeria's growing demand for affordable, quality, durable and accessible paint solutions. The unveiling took place at a media and partner parley in Lagos, bringing together key industry stakeholders, and marks a significant milestone in CAP PLC's strategy to deepen its presence across multiple consumer segments.
The reasons why we felt okay.
It's a colorful afternoon as Chemical and Allied Products Company hosts the media, building professionals and other partners to officially introduce Spruce. Available in 4 product variants: acrylic satin, emulsion, textured and gloss.
CAP in partnership with AXO has helped.
The managing director, Bolarin Okunowo, describes Spruce as a strategic response to evolving consumer realities and growing demand within the mid-tier market segment.
Over the last few years, we have seen a younger generation enter the real estate market, demanding for more in terms of creative and interesting spaces, exciting and intricate color palettes, natural yet contemporary arrangements, environmentally and ethically produced products, and all of this at an affordable price point. I am therefore delighted to introduce Spruce, our response to consumers' quest for more, a purpose-built product engineered to deliver real quality, reliability, and style at a price point that is accessible. It is specifically designed for projects where economics matters, while still benefiting from an AkzoNobel-backed technology and CAP's technical expertise.
The launch is also accompanied by the Show Your True Colors campaign, a bold consumer platform designed to celebrate individuality, self-expression, and the emotional connection people have with their spaces.
Today, we see 2 very important trends. A large population of creative, aspirational, and discerning consumers, and a consumer with multiple competing needs for their naira and kobo. The launch of Spruce aims to address this by introducing a fun, sophisticated range under the iconic Dulux brand in a manner that is friendlier on our wallet.
To be able to bring to the market a product that everyone who is seeking affordable and well-priced product without actually reducing the quality, that is a great feat and something that is great for the market and the industry.
For over 65 years, CAP has remained at the forefront of Nigeria's paints and coatings industry through innovation, quality, and strategic partnerships. The company says it remains committed to expanding access to high-quality paints, ensuring more Nigerians can enjoy stylish living spaces with Dulux's trusted standards.
And now to the arts. Without Rest, The Crown We Gain is an exhibition by Tunde Owolabi at the June Creative Art Advisory in Lagos. The solo show features sculptures, photographs, and prints, and we see it on Art Review tonight.
Contemporary artist Tunde Owolabi is applauding the resilience of women by creatively interpreting their struggles in his new exhibition titled Without Rest, The Crown We Gain, currently showing in Lagos.
I'm using these women on the street as my subject matter. You look at how much they put into what they do, the kind of strain on them, because they have to carry this burden on their head from wherever they're going, from their house, going to look for their daily bread. And it's without rest, because if they don't do this, they don't bring food to the table for themselves and for their family, and in turn for the economy. As informal as they are, they serve quite a lot of people, because the population of people that these women serve cannot be overemphasized.
Each of his sculptures depicts the story of strong women observed in his environment, with the artist naming each piece after its specific muse.
Wood is the medium with which I wanted to show these works in a three-dimensional form. But the photography for me is for people to actually look at it and reference to what the wood carving are trying to say to you. So the wood carvings have been sort of deconstructed, not necessarily looking like a human form, but you can look at it with the basic shapes, with the deconstruction, and still tell that this is what this person is trying to talk about. But then having the photography, because photography helps you to freeze time. So I'm able to use the photography as a point of reference for the wood carvings.
Through sculptural form and visual documentation, this artist explores endurance, skill, and the specialized knowledge developed through sustained physical practice.
I want people to know that these people are a very important part of our community, first of all, and also to respect the fact that there's so much that these people bring to us. You see these people every day, we encounter them, but they are almost unseen because everybody's going about their daily lives. But it brings forward to us that these people are very important to us. They are an integral part of our society, to our culture, and we must take, importance to what they do and also respect them.
Every carved figure in this collection was crafted using enthralling ancient materials, emphasizing the need for these entrepreneurs to be seen, recognized, and celebrated.
And in sports news, it's victory songs and, of course, bragging rights for the Gunners. Arsenal lifted the Premier League trophy after celebrating their first game as champions with a 2-1 win against Crystal Palace. Mikel Arteta's side clinched their first English title for 22 years on Tuesday, when second-place Manchester City drew away at Bournemouth. In action for the first time since the celebrations of their long-awaited triumph, the Gunners took the lead through Brazilian international Gabriel Jesus late in the first half at Selhurst Park. Noni Madueke, the England international, scored Arsenal's second goal after the interval to ensure the champions ended the league campaign with 26 wins from 38 games. Meanwhile, it was a drama on the final day of the English Premier League across England. Pep Guardiola's 593rd and final game in charge of Man City ended in an emotional Premier League defeat as Ollie Watkins scored a double for Aston Villa. Now, Sunderland's remarkable return to the Premier League finished with a fairy tale ending as the Black Cats beat Chelsea to earn a Europa League football for next season. Bruno Fernandes, the Portuguese international, broke the Premier League assist record and scored as Manchester United eased to a 3-0 win over Brighton and Hove Albion. Tottenham secured Premier League survival on a dramatic final day of the season as West Ham United's 14-year stay in the top division came to an end, even though they beat Leeds United 3-0 at the London Stadium. Meanwhile, Manchester City fans shared their views as Pep Guardiola bids an emotional farewell to the club in his final game in charge as Man City boss against Aston Villa, bringing down the curtain on a glittering 10-year reign. The fans commended Pep for a fantastic reign at the Etihad.
Sad day, 10 years at the helm,
and all the trophies we've won, and especially the style of football that he's brought. You know, it's that's why I think every team in the Premier League have just tried to copy his style of football.
It's hard to say because I think it's still fair on the next manager to sort of replicate what he's done. So I feel like, I mean, sure, like I expect that we'll still keep winning. That I do want, and I think we will. But I don't think we'll see anywhere near the amount we've seen in the last 10 years.
I do, yeah. He's had 10 intense years of trying to win everything, so I don't blame him having the rest at all. I did. I took early retirement, so I don't blame him.
Well, it happens to us all, doesn't it, eventually? But he's doing all right. He knows he makes the right decisions. But it's a sad day. It had to be coming, but it's a sad day.
A new era awaits for Enzo Maresca at the helm for Man City. Moving on, Rangers International of Enugu are champions of the 2025-26 Nigeria Premier Football League for the 9th time. Now, the Flying Antelopes beat Ikorodu City 2-1 at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos with a brace from Chidi Ebere Nwobodo. The Enugu-based team finished on 68 points from 38 games. Rivers United thrashed Katsina United to finish in second place on 67 points to pick the second CAF Champions League ticket. The Niger Tornadoes edged Shooting Stars 1-0. Despite the defeat, the Ibadan-based team will join Ikorodu City in the CAF Confederation Cup next season. Bendel Insurance held Remo Stars to a 1-0 draw at the Samuel Ogbemodia Stadium, and Bayelsa United thrashed visiting Quarry United. Eyimba, Plateau United, Warri Wolves and Barrow FC all enjoyed home wins on the final day of the season. Now, away from sports news, let's head to the international scene right about now. News media CNN is reporting that no US-Iran agreement is expected to be signed and agreed, citing a senior Trump administration official, where another official has telling the network that Iran has committed in principle to reopening the Strait of Hormuz and disposing of its stockpile of enriched uranium. Now, US President Donald Trump says negotiations towards a deal with Iran are constructive, but both sides must take their time and get it right. He says Tehran must now understand they cannot develop or procure nuclear weapons. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later added that any final deal with Iran will need to remove the nuclear threat. A process, he says, would include the removal of enriched nuclear material from Iran. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian affirmed his country will not compromise on its honor during the negotiations, and saying that Tehran has no desire to acquire nuclear weapons. At least 20 people have been killed and 70 others injured in an explosion targeting a train transporting military personnel in Pakistan. Now, the blast occurred while the train was traveling through Chaman Patak station in Quetta, the capital of the western Balochistan region. A railway official said that 3 coaches and the engine were derailed while 2 were overturned.
There were at least 24 deaths from the incident that happened on Sunday and over 50 wounded people. There was heavy security deployment to the site of the incident as rescue teams recovered bodies and cleared debris. Charred vehicles and damaged houses were visible as ambulances and civil defense teams searched through the wreckage. The train in question was heading from Quetta military barracks when it was hit by an explosion near Chaman Patak station, according to railway authorities. Some of the passengers of the train are military personnel traveling home for the upcoming Eid celebrations. The blast was said to cause a locomotive and 3 coaches to derail, while 2 of the coaches overturned. The Pakistani Minister for Railways, Mohammad Abbasi, condemned the blast calling the suspected attack a cowardly act of terrorism that will not weaken the nation's resolve to counter terrorism. He also stated that hostile elements are engaged in malicious activities to spread fear and unrest across Pakistan. The minister has instructed the pertinent authorities to submit an immediate report on the incident, while reaffirming that Pakistan Railways operations would continue without interruption despite the attack.
And the main news again. President Bola Tinubu has emerged as the APC presidential candidate after securing almost 11 million votes in the party's primaries. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. You have a good night.